This is the True Crime Nation podcast with your hosts, Todd and Brian. If you're enjoying the show or have suggestions for future shows, you can email us at truecrimenation@outlook.com. And as always, let's start the show. All right, welcome back to the show. This is True Crime Nation. I am Brian, and right over there is Todd. What's up, buddy?
Brian, how you doing today, man? What's going on with you?
Not much, man. Just getting ready to tell the people about this.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a few missing people from Yellowstone National Park today. We'll get through what we can anyway. We're going to start talking about some people missing from Yellowstone National Park. So we'll get into that and see what's up and theorize a little bit.
There's a lot of people go missing from that place.
Yellowstone is big for that. I know Alaska is really huge for missing people, but Yellowstone is too. I was watching a little thing on Alaska missing people yesterday. There's been 60,000 missing people recorded in the past 100 years or something like that. Does that seem crazy or what?
From Alaska.
Yeah. We'll have to do a show on that one coming up.
We'll do one on the Alaska Triangle.
Exactly.
Because I think that's where a lot of the people go missing from.
That's what they were talking about. So that'll be our next show, folks, hopefully.
That'll be fun, yeah. That'll be fun. Stay tuned.
So let's stick on this Yellowstone thing here. Let's see what we got going on. Let's dig into this.
Yeah, what's going on with Darren Dixon missing from Yellowstone National Park?
All right.
Darren Dixon was born June 18th, 1973 in Raymond, Nebraska, and moved to Muncie, Indiana as a teenager. Close to home.
Yes, it is.
Darren went to graduate from Burris High School in Muncie, and he chose to attend Taylor University as a private Christian college. It's not clear how Darren came to get a job at Yellowstone National Park, but he would get a summer job with the park system working as a busboy at Roosevelt Lodge. Oh, he worked there.
Okay. Interesting.
That'd be an interesting job.
Yeah, I want to have a job somewhere. I want to be a park ranger someday or someone who works in a national park.
That'd be fun.
But I don't know if I'd want to do Yellowstone. I'd be a little leery about that place.
I'm leery about all the national parks out west.
And I haven't even read through. I don't even know what we're going to talk about here, so
I don't either. This could be interesting.
I'm a little concerned already.
Roosevelt Lodge is a rustic-style lodge for visitors to the park. The lodge is specifically located in Tower Junction, Wyoming, and is liked for not only its rustic style, but its proximity to Calcite Springs, Upper Falls, and Tower Falls. I've never been to Yellowstone, but I'm sure those places are beautiful.
I haven't either. I don't know what they're talking about, but I know there's some really cool things there. Different colors.
I'm sure it's amazing.
Old Faithful and all that stuff.
Seemed to enjoy the job, at least at first. For some unknown reason, Darren abruptly walked into work on July 2nd, 1993, and quit his job. Some friends would see Darren on July 4th, 1993 in Cook City, Montana. Although, again, details about the encounter, such as where, when, and how it happened, are scarce. It was a holiday. Was it possibly a holiday get-together or a random run-in? At a later date, Darren's car would be found in Lamar River Canyon pullout. Some of his belongings were found in the car, such as his wallet, but friends would notice that all of his fishing gear was missing, leading everyone to believe that Darren had gone off fishing. A search of the area commenced immediately. There was no sign of Darren anywhere. Lamar River Canyon is famous for abundant wildlife of all kinds. Visitors flock to the area to hopefully get a sighting of bears, wolves, and elk. The Lamar River Canyon is also where you'll find the Yellowstone River, known, of course, as the Lamar River. Makes sense.
Yeah.
If Darren went there to fish, the Lamar River is likely the reason his car was where it was found. So
obvious.
Did he go fishing?
He went fishing and he got taken away by the current and he drowned. Maybe. Maybe not.
I don't know. That seems a little too convenient.
Hopefully it tells us more as we go along here.
I have a lot of questions about his intentions and what was going on at the time, but before we talk about those, let's look at the map of the area in which Darren was known to be. You can pull up the map. Are you looking?
Yeah, I will do that. Hold on.
Could be interesting here. Could be, while you're looking at that, Roosevelt Lodge is located in the northern part of Wyoming. We don't know exactly where Darren was staying, quite possibly near the lodge. The next destination we know about is Cook City, Montana. Cook City is 32 miles from Roosevelt Lodge, about an hour's drive northeast. Find it?
I got it. Okay, there it is. So yeah, the lodge is north of the actual center of Yellowstone Park, not into Montana, but close to the line there in Wyoming, in the vicinity, definitely in the vicinity there. Yeah, obviously. So
Hmm. Yeah, they said it was about 32 miles from Roosevelt Lodge,
okay.
about an hour's drive northeast.
Well, he was an hour's drive northeast of Roosevelt Lodge.
Right.
He was into Montana. Is that what
Yeah.
you said? Okay.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
closest
Cook City, Montana.
Cook City. I got you right here. Cook City. Yep.
Hmm.
We are there. Cook
So
City. Okay.
if you go 32 miles southwest,
Of Cook City.
southeast. Yeah.
Southeast of Cook City. Yeah.
No, that would be southwest. Because if you're going northeast from Roosevelt Lodge,
Yeah. Yeah. He was actually in Montana fishing. That's where they found his car in Montana.
Wyoming.
Okay. Wyoming. All right. Gotcha.
Hang on. Now you're confusing me. Let's go back and look. Yes. He was fishing in Yellowstone and Lamar River Canyon area. Cook City is a small town with just 75 residents. However, Cook City is well known for its scenic views. What took Darren to Cook City? The next location we know about is where his car was found at the Lamar River Pullout area. Lamar River Pullout is located almost halfway between Cook City and Roosevelt Lodge on the same route, in fact, that one would likely take.
Okay.
Searches for Darren began when his car was found and were conducted throughout the entire summer. However, no sign of Darren was ever found. Authorities believe that he likely drowned, like you said earlier.
Mm-hmm. Possibility.
Okay. Here are the questions and thoughts that come up in this case. Does Darren's disappearance have anything to do with his suddenly quitting his job a couple of days earlier?
Possible.
If Darren did fall into the river, why wasn't any of Darren's fishing gear or items ever found? The river was thoroughly searched, but there was nothing recovered.
That's interesting in itself right there. You would think...
Yeah, you would think something would have been found on the side of the river.
Article of clothing, the body itself, a fishing rod,
Tackle box,
tackle.
something.
Unless the river took it so far down, they just didn't go that far.
Did Darren's life provide any clues? For example, did he ever express interest in hiking or fishing anywhere else nearby? Was he depressed? Was it common for Darren to go out fishing alone? So many questions and so many thoughts vanished in 1993. And here it is, 2022, when this was written. We still have no idea what happened to him and where he is. In October of that year, his family had an obituary published. A scholarship for Taylor University was also established in his name. What do you think happened to Darren Dixon?
Okay,
Darren is described as a Caucasian male with brown hair and brown eyes. He stands 6'1" and weighed about 170 pounds when he was last seen in 93. Darren was 20 years old then and would today be 49 years old.
So the dude's not much younger than us.
Nope.
So we know what it was like to be his age in that time era.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about this for a second. So this guy, he's working at Yellowstone at a lodge.
Right.
It's got to be a pretty cool job, right?
I would think.
Did it say what he
I'm
did?
sure the views there, I'm sure the view from that lodge is amazing.
Did it say what he did there? I can't remember.
He's a busboy at the lodge.
So, you know how it is when we're 20 years old. What'd you do when you were 20 years old, man? I mean,
I was married and had babies.
or short. Well,
I didn't do much.
But you know how at that age in a man's life, he's apt to just pick up and just take off. You know,
Oh, for sure, as well he should.
Hell, you know,
absolutely.
When I was in my early 20s, me and my friends drove across country, you know, and said the hell with it, and we quit our jobs and we drove across country.
I mean, that's what you should be doing when you're 20 years old.
So maybe that's what he was doing, or this comes to mind. Maybe he met somebody that was like maybe saying, well, you know, come work for me, or I can promise you this and promise you that, and coerced him with some money and said, quit your job and meet me here. And maybe that person did something to him, but why? You know, the kid didn't have anything It wouldn't have been out of a monetary reason.
Yeah, a 20-year-old kid working the busboy at a lodge, he ain't got nothing.
Right. So if
it's-
anything, it was maybe done for, unfortunately, a perversion reason.
maybe he just stumbled upon something he wasn't supposed to know about or see or something and tried to get away, and they got him before he got away.
Yeah.
I don't know what goes on out there in Yellowstone. Maybe poaching or something. Could have been anything.
Maybe he really did quit his job. Maybe he was planning on leaving, doing something bigger and better, and he wanted one last time to hit that fishing hole. And he just, wasn't using his head, and something happened, and maybe he did drown. It's hard to say.
Maybe.
I mean, there's had to have been other clues around the car, footprints, fingerprints.
They don't say any of that.
Did they take
Doesn't say
anything
any
out
of
of the
that.
car?
Well, all his fishing gear was gone, so they couldn't do that.
But his wallet was.
But everything else was there. His wallet was still there. Yeah. So it wasn't a robbery.
It almost does lead to the fact that he drowned. But again, why couldn't they find something?
Yeah, but did he take all his fishing gear down with him? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go down, it's depending on what he's. I'm thinking he's fly. Is he fly fishing? Is he wading in the water with all this stuff on?
They don't say.
Is he just fishing from the bank? That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's hard to say.
Doesn't say what kind of fishing it was. We need to find that out.
He could have been attacked by some animal or something, or a group of wolves and drug off and ate. Who knows? But you think they would search for that too, right?
Yeah, we would have found something. They would have found clothes. They would have found something.
Yeah, we need more details on
Blood.
this story.
It would have been blood.
We need more details on this story.
Yeah. So if anybody else out there has looked into this before, let us know.
Please reach out to us.
Start a little conversation about this one. This is a good one.
Shoot us an email at truecrimenation@outlook.com. Let us know what you guys think about Darren. What happened to Darren?
Yeah.
Maybe you have some more information on him that you can shoot our way.
Yeah.
Figure this out. It's too many open issues there.
Too many unanswered questions. Too many.
I need more facts.
Yeah, facts. Not FAX, FACTS.
Exactly. We don't have a fax machine yet.
That's right. We live in the 21st century.
Do people still fax each other? I don't know.
You should know.
I don't fax at work. I don't give a fax.
Nope.
All right.
The Amish do.
Fax?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Especially down in
I didn't know that.
Amish land down there south of us.
Amish are faxers. Okay.
Wherever it is.
Yeah, faxing Amish
Yeah,
people.
because they don't have email. I mean, none of them have email.
Is it in their religion to fax? I guess it is, huh?
I think it is, yeah. I think
It doesn't say anywhere
from the
Amish rules, thou shalt not fax. Anyway,
so.
We're getting off topic.
You got to have it out in your barn, though, and you can't have electricity. But you can, but it got to be solar.
And it's hand cranked.
Right.
You hand crank that sucker. Get it warmed up.
Damn. Hypocrite.
If anyone lives around Amish, you'll know what we're talking about.
Right.
We got anybody else? Who else we got missing in the
Where'd that go? I don't know. I'm trying to find the other one. It won't
National
open.
Park there?
Our next mystery is Catherine Ann Major.
All right.
Catherine Major, a 53-year-old woman, traveled to the Jackson Hole area in the fall of 2009 in the hopes of finding a place to settle down and relocate. Again, another beautiful spot. Jackson Hole.
Yeah. I want to go check that out, that area. I've never really been to the center.
Yeah, me either, but I'd like to. We'll get out there.
Yeah.
We'll get out there. Catherine's family life isn't too well known, but she did have 2 children and 2 cats that she loved dearly. On September 18th, upscale Four Seasons Resort in Teton Village, Wyoming, Catherine was caught shoplifting at the resort.
Oh.
Huh.
Catherine.
So Catherine's a klepto.
I was liking Catherine up until now.
I know. What the heck is going on here? Catherine. She was spotted on surveillance stealing a master key to the resort spa and stealing $714 worth of stuff. Catherine had money. There was no need to steal, but she did, and she was caught. Authorities went to her room on September 19th and confronted her with the allegations. Catherine agreed to pay the money, and the resort said they would not press charges if she left immediately. She said she would, and she promised the officers that she wouldn't steal. They agreed to let her go. Security came back to her room about an hour later to make sure she had left. It was 4 p.m. on Saturday, September 9th, 2009. Catherine wasn't there, but most of her belongings were. Her Jaguar was also still parked in the parking lot.
You know, that's
So this woman had money.
I've heard that before. There's people, a lot of times people that steal already have money. They just do it for the thrill of it because they can't really, I mean, what are you going to do to them? Put them in jail for a couple days, slap them on the hand? They don't care. That had to be why she was doing it.
I don't think that was, I think somebody was making, I think somebody had something on her and they were making her do this stuff.
Okay, that's a good point.
And then when they got caught, she had to go. They had no use anymore. So,
okay.
A search for Catherine began at the resort and surrounding it. Investigators found some odd things in her room, such as an empty pill bottle, wigs, gloves, and a rope. Catherine had attempted suicide before, 5 times, in fact. Was this her intent? She did leave a note that read, "Please take care of Oscar and Max. I have nothing." Okay. That's weird.
Was she nuts? Maybe she was nuts.
Is that your medical diagnosis?
She was nuts. Maybe she had some mental issues going on.
That's possible. That's very possible. That could happen. Catherine must have left the resort either on foot or via public transportation or taxi, but no one came forward with any sightings. Law enforcement believed that they would find her. Catherine's sister came in from California to help search, and special search dogs were brought in. Dogs tracked a major scent through the glass doors of her room across Loop Road, north towards Obsidian Drive, down a hill toward Garnet Drive, and north towards a barn and open fields before they lost the trail.
Weird.
But there was no sign of Catherine anywhere. Unless maybe she did go that way and she went to meet somebody.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Who knows? This is a...
Yeah, this is a weird one. The detective in charge of Catherine's case said this one baffles him like no other. Everyone was certain she would turn up. Another odd fact is that in all this time, only one tip has ever been received, which turned out to be a dead end. This in itself is highly unusual in missing persons cases. Even when leads aren't verified, there are almost always leads coming in. The area of Jackson, Wyoming is farther south in Yellowstone Park than that of our last case. The resort in particular sits very close to the Snake River and several mountains and caverns, which are popular areas for hikers. Did Catherine go off into the wilderness and meet her demise? Or had she left the area altogether and is living with someone else or somewhere else, alone, unknown to family and friends? Investigators have said this case will remain open and active until Catherine is found. What do you think happened to Catherine Ann Major? Catherine is described as a Caucasian female with brown hair, brown eyes. She stood 5'5" tall and weighed about 125 pounds when she was last seen in September 2009.
Interesting.
So, yeah, that's a really weird one.
Okay, this lady had money. Or she appeared to have money.
Or she did. Yeah.
She did have money. Maybe she was losing everything she had. Maybe she was in her last... Maybe they were going to come take the car. Maybe she had,
This is what I'm thinking. She got involved with some guy, one of those grifter guys, that take the women for all their money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe she got involved with one of those guys, and he was a little worse than the others, because some of them just, drain him and leave. Maybe this guy wasn't done, and he made her do the other stuff to get more money. And then when she got caught, he panicked or whatever, and
yeah, it's hard to say.
Dead Catherine.
Yeah, either that or she was a little loose in the head, and she just. Yeah, one of the okay.
I think it would be one of the two.
You're trying to theorize. I tend to believe that it was her own demise that she put herself in. and she was just a little
Yeah,
crazy.
but there would be.
And she goes walking
I
off.
can't see by herself. I can't see her covering the trail that well.
Well, they said the dogs.
Then why would the dog lose her scent?
I don't know. Good question.
The only way that could happen if she got into another vehicle and took off, and the scent stopped right there. Because if she kept walking, the dog would find her scent.
That's what I'm saying. When they lost her scent, where were they? Were they on a trail? Were they on a road? I don't know. Did it say? I can't remember.
Yeah, it said they followed it to a barn. Dogs tracked Major's scent through the glass doors of her room, across Granite Loop Road, north towards Obsidian Drive, down a hill towards Garnet Drive, and north towards a barn and open fields before they lost the trail. Open fields. I mean, they're going to find her scent if she's still walking.
Right. Let me map this out. Hold on. Give me a location again. Just anywhere. A road or anything.
Granite. Let's see. Granite Loop Road.
There it is.
Across Granite Loop Road, north towards Obsidian Drive, down a hill towards Garnet Drive, and north towards a barn and open fields. So somewhere after Garnet Drive, they lost her scent.
Huh. Let me look at this one more time. Garnet Drive, too. Okay. Garnet.
Granite Loop Road, north towards Obsidian Drive, down a hill towards Garnet Drive, and north towards a barn and open fields.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless.
Okay. So here's the deal on this, man. This is right in town. Teton Village. This is a ski resort she's close to. And the only thing, the way she was heading was toward the Snake River. But that doesn't mean she got that far, because what you're describing to me is she didn't really even get out of town. That open field in that barn, I'm guessing when I'm looking at here, I can see that it's still fairly close to everything. So like you said, if she was in a field, was she picked up on a four-wheeler? Was there tire
somebody
tracks?
would have to have picked her up.
Was there tire tracks?
Helicopter? UFO?
UFO?
Could be anything at that point. I mean,
did a big bird swoop down and pick her up and take her off? Yeah, strange. That doesn't mean that she kept walking, but I would think a dog, if it's going to track her that far, it's going to stay on that scent. If there's,
well, yeah, they wouldn't have lost her scent. That's what got me right there. Is those dogs are pretty darn good at what they do, so they wouldn't have lost the scent unless somebody picked her up and drove her off.
Maybe you're right. Maybe she had some dude that was using her to steal for him, do whatever. He had something on her or threatened her. She was no longer valuable to him. He came to the place, drug her out of the back glass door, drug her down the street, drug her down, killed her there in the field somehow, and then carried her over his shoulders somewhere else. But you would think the dogs would pick up a different track, wouldn't they not? Well, not if they were on. Not if they don't have a different scent.
But
why would somebody walk that far, travel that far? I don't know. I'm baffled.
Unless she had, maybe she had another car waiting, and maybe she was alone. Maybe she did just take off and go somewhere. I don't know. It's weird. Or maybe she did have another car waiting and just took off and drove out to the wilderness. And
unless she's smart enough and she's trying to elude people, where she walks out to a field, then walks backwards in her own tracks, jumps in a car on the road and takes off. But my goodness.
That
you'd have to know you're going to be tracked by dogs, right?
Yeah. Well, I would think, especially out there in the mountains and Wyoming and all that, Yellowstone, they always have dogs.
It'd be interesting to talk to her kids,
or her sister at least,
or someone that knows her, to see what kind of person she really was. Maybe they could enlighten. Maybe they knew that she was romancing some guy that was mean to her and.
Interesting. Yeah.
We need to get some live guests on the show talking about these things, if they could. I'm sure it's detrimental to them and terrible to not know where their mother is. I think they should also search that wilderness or wherever that area is closer. I mean, if she did wander out to the Snake River, she traveled pretty far on foot. And so maybe
Yeah, I think it was only an hour later when they went back to the room and she was gone. So
it's gonna got far.
is she a power walker? Is she that fast? Did she run? I mean, they would have found her at some point. She was only had an hour head start. And if it's that wide open.
It was 4 p.m. or so. So it was light out.
Yeah.
I don't think someone would have just been dragging her down the street. She had to have gone quietly with whoever she went with. If she went with somebody.
See, that's what I'm thinking.
She went quietly or she went on her own.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. If she didn't go by herself, then she went with somebody that she.
There's too
like
much around
that guy.
There's too much around that area where she left from, where she could have screamed, yelled, hollered for somebody to hear her that time of day.
Right. And especially in a ski resort town.
Yeah. I mean, she's inside, like how the roads wind around and there's houses everywhere. You're kind of in a housing addition, but it's hilly. That's what she was in, that resort area. So to walk out of that and walk the way she did, I mean, she's still got a lot of, regular land and road. Now, it does kind of get desolate out there. But again, if someone was forcing her out there, unless they had a gun to her back and she was going quietly, I don't see how she could have been taken away unless she got in a car. Very strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very strange.
It is.
Maybe someone else out
That's
there
another.
can tell us about this one too.
Yeah, no kidding. Catherine Ann Major. If anybody's out there that's been looking for her, get a hold of us at truecrimenation@outlook.com.
Yes, let us know what you guys think.
Or on Facebook, or on Instagram, wherever.
Yep, we're
Twitter.
on social media as well. So if you guys have any information on any of these stories that we've done here, let us know.
Yeah. Let us know. We'll
I'm just
start
baffled.
a conversation and we'll get it going again.
I mean, we can theorize and say, well, this happened, but, we don't have enough clues. And
Right.
can't totally say that. So, all right, my
So
friend.
let's find these people.
Let's do it. Good hanging out with you again. Good episode.
Always fun, man.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
We'll
Always
get
a
outta
good
here.
time.
Listeners, thank you again for being here. And remember,
Monsters are real.